Good evening and welcome to the real world. We're just a day away for what is going to be for many of us the greatest Seder we've ever experienced, the greatest Seder of our lives. And every year at this time I think about a story, but it's especially relevant, it seems especially relevant this Pesach, this Erev Pesach. There was a Yid of Chanina Herzberg, Alav Shalom, very, very exceptional person, exceptional mechanech, who was nifta last year, a great man, and he told me, shared with me a memory of visiting his own Rebbe on Erev Pesach, Reb Shlomo Freifeld. And it was a very difficult time in Reb Shlomo's life because his Rebbetzin, Allah Shalom, had taken ill that year. She was sick. And Reb Chanina felt like he should go check in on his Rebbe Erev Pesach, make sure he's okay, see if he needed anything. And he went in to visit Reb Shlomo in the house. Reb Shlomo was sitting in his usual seat learning, and his payas were wet. Erev Pesach in that, and it looked like he'd already gone to the mikveh. Reb Shlomo was sitting drinking a coffee and learning with wet payas. And he didn't seem like himself. He seemed more pensive than usual. He wasn't his usual exuberant self, his usually lively self, his energetic self. And it was interesting to Chanina. And he said, "Can I do anything for Rebbe? Can I help with anything?" Shlomo thought for a minute. He said, "Actually, if you don't mind, give me a ride to the mikveh. If you don't mind." So Chanina said, "Of course." He led his Rebbe to the car and he drove him to the mikveh in Far Rockaway. And he waited in the car until Shlomo came out. Shlomo came out again, wet payas, and this time his face was radiant, shining, glowing. Back to being Reb Shlomo. He came into the car full of chiyas, full of life, full of excitement, full of exuberance. Reb Shlomo saying vertlach and jokes and stories on the way home. When they get home, and Shlomo goes to sit down, and he opens up his sefer, and he's learning a little bit. He says, "China, do you mind making me a coffee?" China said, "Of course." He goes to the kitchen, and he prepares a coffee for his Rebbe, and he brings it back. And Shlomo is sitting there with his coffee, and you see on his face that he's in a different zone. All the light of Yontif, of Erev Yontif, is already shining from him. China says, "Can I ask Rebbe a question? I was here half an hour ago. The Rebbe's payas were wet, and he was drinking coffee. You asked me to take you back to the mikveh. We went back, and here we are again, weiter with wet payas drinking coffee. What changed? Then Rebbe seemed so sad, and now Rebbe seems so alive and so energetic. And why did Rebbe go to the mikveh twice?" Sometimes I'll tell you the honest. It's a very difficult year. Erev Pesach in the Yiddish house is usually filled with smells and sounds and sights and so much anticipation for the upcoming Yontif. But this year, leider, unfortunately, the Rebbetzin is not well. It's not like other Yom Tovim. Doesn't feel like Erev Pesach in this house. The Rebbetzin is not able to be in the kitchen like she is every year. And it was difficult for me. And I was down. And I went to the mikveh and I came home and I was still down. And because I was down, I was upset at myself that I was down. And I was thinking about, Shlomo, where's your emunah? Where's your bitachon? Be mechazek yourself, be mechazek other people. And I was having a hard time with it. And then you came in and I asked you to take me to the mikveh. The second time I went to the mikveh, I went with a different machshava. I said to myself, who am I? Am I Shlomo from Ishpitz? Am I Shlomo from Breslov? Am I Shlomo from Lublin? I'm just Shlomo from East New York. And I got to do the best that I can do. And with that machshava, I went to the mikveh the second time. Shlomo from East New York, doing the best that I can do, that I'm doing a good job of. That's the story. It's relevant every year of Pesach, and it's especially relevant this year. So many of us are making the Seder for the first time this year, and Reb Shlomo is teaching us, in every matzav, really in life, it's great to be exposed to the light of the great Sfarim, of Emunah and Bitachon, the great rabbis, and such madrigas, such dargas, such dimensions, such a light that they saw. We don't always see that. But the Rebbe Shalom wants us to do the best that we could do, especially on the Leil HaSeder, which is so personal. The message you're giving over to your children. It's your minhagim that you got from your father. It's your story. It's your emunah. So it doesn't make a difference how many Haggadahs you used to prepare. But remember that you're not the Chavetz Chaim, and you're not the Maral, and you're not the Sfas Emes, you're not the Nasiv, it's you. Just do the best that you can do. Akat Yantav.